Home, micro-loan, micro-home, home alone. I am home, I am alone. Keep speaking, keep speaking. Adam told me keep speaking, keep speaking, keep speaking. Adam told me keep speaking, keep speaking. Adam told me keep speaking, keep speaking. Adam told me keep speaking. What? Use the talk back. It's there for a reason.
Do this. Got my own mic.
Okay, well you sit in there so I don't have to smell you.
I think it would work that way. Because you get cut off.
Yeah, that's real cool.
It's not working.
Yeah, I know it's not. It's your job to fix it.
Prick.
I can't hear Jack! Adam! Adam, I can't hear Jack. Yeah, I can hear him a bit.
I got the secret ending.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
saw the memories.
Not
Usually
it's
get a switch so you can play that game.
it's
real good.
it's
Best
I can
sound
hear
I've
it,
played.
but I can't hear it.
Don't really know what else to say.
Is he speaking?
Jack, speak.
Is he speaking? Fuck! I can hear him. I can hear him through the wall from the Mac, just going bob, bob, bob. What? Yeah, because this wall's really thin. Is it on now? Is in my life I've known no pain, name is Jay. My name is Jay. Hello, 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 hello.
Womble as well. That's
I can
that's a
hear
good
Jack.
one.
I can hear Jack. I can hear Jack. How?
Nice.
Yay! Now turn my mic on.
I'm not bad unplugged it. We're back in business. What?
Turn my mic on. That's what I was trying to tell you to do.
No, if I turn the one in here on, I can't hear you.
Okay, well, don't turn that one on then. Nonce. Jack. Whisper sweet nothings into my ear, Jack.
Mm?
Whisper sweet nothings into my ear, Jack. Jackson. You want me to do my levels? Okay. Go is a film about frying eggs. The technique of frying an egg, the salt, the pepper, whether you want it sunny side up or over easy. I prefer it over easy personally. You want me to be more louder. Go, Jack, cunt, Jack, cunt. Cunt. Excited. Cinescope. Fuck right. I've got beef with Cinescope. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Come on, Cinescope. Let's fight. Let's fight me. Fight me, Cinescope. Come on, Cinescope. I know you're listening.
What films does Cinescope talk about?
I know they're scared, Jack.
Like Oscars. Nobody cares about the Oscars. What, you want me to talk, or you want him to go on the other mic?
I am going to do my levels, Jack.
Hey, you're doing my levels. Should we get the door for you, Captain Cripple?
Yeah, please, actually.
Oh, you're doing that.
Oh,
I see.
Open it properly, you twat.
I'm holding both doors.
Thank you.
What's this big bit of carpet doing here? Why has it got caution tape all over it? Shall I see what's underneath it? Which one are you? The one closest to the other buttons. No! This one. That. It's that mic. No, I'm just checking what's underneath this. Oh my god! There's a body!
My favourite thing.
It's just a carpet. This carpet has no relevance. There's nothing underneath it.
Come on, chop chop.
Award-winning podcast. Hello there, ladies. About here, frying eggs. Go. I mean, what more can you say about it? It's a film we watched once, probably. Looking at the levels, we are both in the same place. Oh, Jack, just hurry up and get your film done. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, it looks about fine. Yeah, I've been recording. Boo, 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 ba-doo, ba-doo, boo, 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 boo. Oh, listeners of the uncut version, me and Nick were doing some nefarious things involving bow and arrows, and Nick fell down the fucking stairs like a dick, really. And now he's hurt his ankle. And now he has to hobble everywhere. Oh,
Yeah.
can you explain to
Say
the listeners what
hurt
you've
my
done?
ankle. We were in A.
How long
for
do you have
2
to have the
hours.
cast on?
I've got like a metal plate thing on my foot, like a metal shoe. It's not like exactly broken, but it's like got a crack in the bone, so I've got to keep this shoe on for like 2 weeks.
Oh shit.
And it's really annoying, and I can't do stairs very well. I can't hear what you're saying, Adam.
I said very wittily that you can't do stairs normally because you fell down. Those
Whose
ones
fault
outside
is it
my
that I fell down the stairs? Yours.
Which stairs did you fall down? The ones at the house.
The first set he actually fell down were the ones on the Arts Bridge.
No, I fell
Oh.
down the ones on the Arts Bridge when I was drunk, but I didn't hurt myself on that.
No, I'm just saying you've got a history of hurting yourself on
Oh.
stair-based idiocies.
Well, this one was your fault because you fired a toy bow and arrow at me.
Like, all fair in love and war, and it was completely worth it, I think. You're editing this week, right, Jack?
Yeah. Jack?
Jack?
Hello. Yes.
The silence.
Jack, you got to answer us.
The silence gives me panic
every
attacks.
time there's a little silence, we're like, oh, fuck.
I'm going to have to restart again. I'm going to have to twiddle and...
No, I can hear you, but you do sound like you're underwater.
Oh, I just remember what I have to do. I have to turn the speakers up in that room so loudly it'll deafen anyone who walks in.
Yeah, so Jack can hear us.
Things I do for this guy.
The things he does for you, Jack. Things he does for me.
Hey, it's your boy. Name.
While he's out the
I'm
room.
watching some gameplay of a game called Is it called A Plague Tale? Innocence. Just so that you get the innocence part of it. It's escaping killer rats and crazy humans. It actually looks really good.
Jack, I'd like to say I care, but I don't.
Yeah, I wasn't saying it. It's just because I'm fucking watching it at the minute, and I never have anything that ever comes to mind. So I'm like, well, fuck it. Might as well talk about what I am seeing on screen at the minute.
Won't you talk about your experiences with broken ankles?
Can I talk about what?
Your experiences with broken ankles and how much they hurt.
I never had a broken ankle, but I can tell you from experience that they hurt. So there you go.
They do hurt.
I'm gonna say from my no experience that they hurt a lot. Oh.
Oh, yeah, I can say as well that it hurts. And it was all
Yeah.
Adam's fault, I can
I'm
confirm. Adam, stop.
I'm gonna put this on.
Sit down. We don't want another bargain bin related injury. Oh, I can't speak.
I'm glad you don't do an audio-based talk show.
Yeah, it's probably not a good choice now that I've lost my ability to speak.
Okay, well, we can put you behind that giant silver
Thing.
thing, so you'd have to look at me. Maybe that's putting you off.
Okay, are we ready? Let's go straight into it. 3, 2, 1.
Is it my intro?
Welcome back to the Bargain Bin Podcast. I'm Nick.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jack.
This week, we haven't been... you intro it and start it.
Okay.
I don't care. That's your intro point, Jack, for your edit.
Well, let me just bring up my notes.
Cut!
Oh, I'm editing this week, aren't I?
Yeah, we said that earlier.
Yeah, I didn't hear.
Just open up my page document. Episode 6 notes.
It's episode 7, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to bin these now, though. Just for reference, I've got stuff on Lady in America. That's the only thing I've got a lot of notes on. Cause...
I've got no notes on anything, but I have a great memory, as we know.
Oh,
so.
so is this one of those ones where I say something and you go, is that in it?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got Lady in America. I've got Death Tunnel. I've got Exam.
Oh wait, we're doing exam. The exam wasn't on the list.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. Jack, read the fucking list.
Jack, read the list.
Yeah, it was underneath.
You hear this, Jack?
That's
That's
his...
my foot.
Oh, exam
Jaggling
was on
about.
the list. Yeah, I forgot. Wait.
So, Exam, Zombies of War, which I vaguely remember, but I do remember the key things into it, which was we
Zombies
watched
of
it
War,
at 2
all we need
speed.
to say is we watched it at 2 times speed.
No, we can also talk about
terrible.
There's a werewolf, there's zombies, and there's a rape scene for no reason.
Yeah, that film is fucking awful.
I want to
Okay.
say that in
God.
just to see
Just
how he
even
edits around it.
Thinking
Right.
about it makes me want to
Adam,
die.
intro it. Let's go straight into it.
Exam, Zombies of War, and Fanboys, and trailers, and Oscars, and I
Oh yeah,
watched-
we're talking about the Oscars instead of
And
doing a
by
game.
that, the three-
Or no, we haven't got any trailers this week. We'll just do Oscars
You don't
instead
wanna
of
do Rocket Man?
trailers. We won't
Okay.
do Rocket Man. We'll save Rocket Man.
And then I watched 3 films in case we need more film.
Okay. We watched. We can talk about
Black
the
Klansman.
Oscars ones.
Yeah,
Because I watched Bo Rap, Black Klansman, and Spider Verse. So.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Lego movie and how shit AI is.
Okay, intro us.
I'm going to give it a weird intro this week.
No, just say hello.
That was a good song, wasn't it, Nick?
Hello.
You don't like that one, do you?
No.
Welcome back to the Bargain Bin Podcast, a weekly show on Brayford Radio with me, Adam.
Me, Nick.
And me, Jack.
And each week we dive into really bad films that you can buy for pretty cheap and tell you if they're worth it or not. This week we're
They're
doing...
not, spoiler.
Yeah, they're never worth it. As always, we're keeping up with our theme that this is an international podcast. Jack, still in America. Nick
Indeed.
has got a broken leg now, so now we can claim for disabilities. And I'm Arabian, so we cover every aspect that you need for a multicultural, multi-ethnicity, multi-diverse show. Probably get an award for that.
Yeah.
This week's a bit different to every other week. We're doing a load of films.
We've got a backlog of a load of films that we've watched and never talked about on the podcast. So we're just going to go through a load of them, quick fire speed.
Yeah, this is super backlog week.
Yeah, we're all backed up and we're going to release it all.
Jack, can we have an inspirational jingle for our super backlog week? I'll wait. I think they've just destroyed America.
Jack, you're editing
What?
this.
What? Jack.
I can't on it because I can't hear the first 2-3 words of every sentence because there's like a delay from the microphone picking up what you're saying. So I can't hear the beginning of every sentence and half the words in said sentence. So
Hello, listeners on YouTube for the uncut version.
Jack, he said,
Okay.
give us an inspirational jingle for our backlog week.
Okay, I'll give you the run into that if you want. Well,
Okay.
How about... All right, before we get on, Jack, can you give us an inspirational jingle to celebrate our backlog week episode?
it's the backlog. Gotta start the backlog. Gotta get it done before the year is done. Da-da.
Thank you.
Wow, thanks, Jack.
Wow, it's not like this is the beginning of the year or anything. We'll clip that.
We will.
We'll clip that. So yeah, let's start with a film, because that's what we do. And I forgot the film. It's Laid in America we're going to start with.
Yeah.
You want to start with Laid in America, Jack? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, seeing as you're in America, you snake.
yeah.
Oh, that's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good lead-in. That's how you do it. Well, we'll start with the first film on our list, and it's thematic because, of course, Jack is in America. It's the
I am
YouTube
indeed.
sensation KSI's film Laid in America.
Laid in America, made by and starring KSI and Casper Lee.
And it's a tough watch for many, many reasons. Who would have thought YouTubers can't act?
I mean,
Would have never thought that.
it's
know
pretty
what you're talking
terrible.
about.
It's got some moments, and by that I mean there are bits in it where you remember, hey, this is watchable, my eyes aren't hurting. But it's pretty bad, all the rest of it. Shall I give us a little synopsis of the
Give
film?
us a little synopsis.
Because I imagine the two of you can't remember anything.
I remember one bit which was a joke, and it was the only time I cracked a smile during the whole film.
That is worth it. I think I've written that in the synopsis
Oh, great.
because it's worth it. YouTube's own KSI. I've written where's instead of with. YouTube's own KSI with Casper Lee are on a study abroad program. It's coming to the end of their year, and neither of them have got laid. There isn't much plot in this film apart from this. They try to bang everything that moves. Literally, I copy and pasted this from a site because no one else has reviewed this film, surprisingly.
Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why either. Okay, plot of the film. YouTube's own KSI and Casper Lee are on a study abroad program in... Jack, where are you?
America.
Correct.
Except without the accent.
Yeah, they're not Jamaican.
I was going for the. Alright, whatever.
Well, no, what were you going for, Jack?
Okay, yeah.
What were you going for? Please explain, Jack.
We'll wait.
What?
What?
Oh, it's a callback, Jack.
Fuck's sake. I can't hear half the words you're fucking saying.
Okay, anyway. Are in America. Their sole purpose of being there is to get laid, and neither of them have achieved any of that via many reasons and via many different opportunities. I think there's like a really naff Tinder. No, I remember this. There's like a Tinder combined with limos. And you book limos and there are women in it, and it's really weird. Nick's falling asleep during the description of this film because this film is pretty dark. Anyway, they go on one last night to try and get laid. They get kidnapped by basically a knockoff of Mr. Chow from The Hangover.
Yeah.
They get drugged in like a Wendy's or like a diner, whatever.
they go through like a... What's that film with the creepy vampires? Vampire orgies. Can we say that on the radio?
What, vampire?
Vampire orgies.
Might cut it out.
They go to... Well, they end up going to like a brothel-y thing with a dwarf, and the dwarf punches one of them in the knob. We say knob?
Yeah, doorknob, obviously.
I think you can say no.
Punches one of them in the doorknob.
Yeah, there we go. That works. That works.
Yeah.
We found loopholes.
Edit around that one,
Loopholes.
So they go to a brothel. Not much happens there. Although something does happen, there's two things that happens there. Number one, there's a dwarf that punches one of them in the doorknob, and there is also a girl that's going to have sex with KSI, I think, and then overdoses and I think passes out on the bed.
Oh, I don't remember this.
I remember
at all.
I had to watch a
I
trailer,
remember
and I
that.
remember I saw that bit in the trailer going, oh yeah, that's the dark bit in the film for no apparent reason. Anyway, they break out of the brothel, still being chased by Mr. Chow knockoff and other lady who drugged him. End up at this cool party for where the bully of the film lives. Again, I'll be amazed if you remember any of this. But anyway, they end up at this party and they're trying to get laid. Trey Zonde's there.
Trey Zonde.
Trey Zonde's there.
Tay Zonde.
Oh, is it Taze? I forget.
Tays chocolate
Yeah.
rain. Some
I was about to say, it's just Chocolate Rain guy. Like, I don't know him as anything
Yeah,
else.
Chocolate Rain guy's there for, again, no apparent reason. They might as well have got Fred or something.
Oh God, don't even start.
There's a Fred movie. There are 3
If
Fred
they got
movies.
Fred in.
Anyway,
If we ever review the Fred movie on this podcast, please find me and kill me.
We're going to do all 3 of them, though. We're not
Back
going to
to
see them
back
as
to
separate
back.
films. They are a trilogy. It is like Lord of the Rings. You can't just watch one of them. You've got to watch all 3 of them at once.
like the Alvin and Chipmunks movies.
Oh God. there's
Oh, that
4
too.
of them.
There's
Except there's like
4?
4 of them now.
Alvin
isn't
and the
there?
Chipmunks, Alvin and the Chipmunks 2, The Squeakquel, Alvin and the Chipmunks Road Chip, and Alvin and the Chipmunks Chipwrecked.
Jesus Christ.
I stopped watching after Road Chip.
I stopped watching after the first one, and I was
I
like
saw
7
the,
when
I
they
saw
came
the
out.
second one. I saw
Well-
the first one in the cinema 3 times.
If you want to put us through that torture, why not tell us by emailing us thebargainbinpodcast or thebargainbin@gmail.com and get in touch with us and tell us films we should be watching, your opinions on any films, or just anything about the show. Like, you think it's really dumb that Jack halfway through a podcast would leave to America, making my life incredibly difficult and meaning we have to do these weird, dodgy setups to get him to hear us.
Also, if you have any opinions on being attacked with a plastic toy bow and arrow and falling down the stairs and breaking your foot, please email in.
Yeah, I
us
need
know.
more
Let us know
tips.
your opinions on that. My foot hurts, Adam.
I imagine it does. You fell down the stairs. Got some more stories we can tell later on if we run out of content about you nearly pooing yourself. Ah. Cut this out, Jack. It's not very funny.
Yeah, I was planning to.
I don't think anything's gone in since the intro.
Cunt!
That's not going in.
Nice. Got that.
Okay, so
planning
yeah,
point.
they end up at this party. Trey Zonde's there, Chocolate Rain.
Tay Zonde.
Him too. Not much else goes on. Not much else goes on at that point, apart from we learn that the bully steals KSI's award-winning song because there's a subplot in this thing where KSI writes music. Again, I'm going to be amazed if you remember that. Nothing else happens. Casper Lee gets off with the girl he's fallen in love with, and KSI has sex with the bully's sister, who turns out to be a cam girl. End of film.
I don't remember.
Everyone's
any of
happy.
this.
Everyone's happy. They get laid. They get laid in America.
Jack, have you been laid in America?
Do you want to be?
No, because I am exceptionally faithful to my girlfriend of almost 3 years. So
Aww.
Good save.
We sent you something in the post, Jack.
What?
Nothing.
okay.
Just gonna hear that when he's editing.
So now we've got through the synopsis, which took about 5 minutes to get through. Or did it? Editing powers. Do you want to hear some interesting facts about Laid in America?
Go for it.
Okay, no, the first point was just a comment and going, this film is so bad, there are no jokes in it apart from that Whoopi Goldberg one.
Yeah.
Do you want to say what the Whoopi Goldberg joke was?
The Mr. Chow ripoff went into the party looking for KSI, and he said, "Where's that Whoopi Goldberg looking mother bleeper?"
I think you could swear and he can just cut it out. Oh, no, you can't even...
Is that a racist joke? Am I allowed to laugh at a racist joke as a white man?
I imagine KSI wrote it, so it's okay. I mean, he has got a book called I'm a Bellend, so...
Bleep!
Oh, yeah, that's not going in. Jack, this isn't going in.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. Mental note.
So
We'll take
Angela... interesting facts from this film because, you know, there aren't any. Angela from The Office is in this.
Is she?
Yeah, she's the, like, surrogate mother because when you go a year abroad, they're like the family they live with.
Oh, right.
I imagine she regrets that decision completely. This movie has been pirated over 500,000 times.
All those 13-year-old KSI stands trying to watch it. Wasn't there a thing with the piracy where KSI was like, stop pirating my film, but then loads of people found screenshots in his old videos of him having like uTorrent and Pirate Bay open?
You know what
Probably.
I say? Absolute power corrupts.
Wouldn't
Absolutely.
surprise me.
He's fallen to the dark side.
He has.
I don't think he's wholesome enough for our kids.
No. What does he do nowadays?
I think he punches people.
His old FIFA videos were actually quite funny back in the day, but he's now, I don't even know. Thanks, Jack.
Well, they were like at
Can't
the
use
time,
that bit
if
now.
you were to rewatch them, I imagine they'd be pretty terrible.
Yeah, I guess so.
Pesky is beast.
It was weird when they made this film because I had a real big worry that they were just going to stop making films with YouTubers.
I need to stop jangling my foot. The metal keeps picking up.
Well,
on
they
the
did
mic.
loads of them because they did like the Fred movie, they did the Smosh movie, they did the one
the
with Shay
Smosh movie.
Dawson in it.
The Smosh movie.
The Smosh
so,
movie.
like,
What?
yeah, there's like I want to say there's 2 Smosh movies. I might be wrong. There's definitely one.
Smosh Harder, I believe they were called. While you look that up, let's just discuss the open facts about this film. Number 1, how long until we get our own film where Jack's played by Jackie Chan? For no reason. I mean, he could play it, but we just get Jackie Chan in to play Jack.
Yeah.
But we still play each
We
other.
still play.
So
we
it's
play
really
each
weird.
other.
Yeah, I play you.
I play you.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then Jackie Chan plays Jack. But Jack
I
is
prefer
Jackie
if-
Chan's son, who in the sequel becomes like the new Jackie
I
Chan.
prefer if Jack plays himself, I play you and you play me, just to really mess with
Oh,
our
that could
audience.
work, yeah. No, I like that. But can we have Jackie Chan somewhere in this as like
Yeah.
maybe the antagonist?
Maybe Jack has to fight Jackie Chan because he's his like evil stepdad.
I like that. Jack, you okay with this?
Yeah, I'm all good with this.
Well, it's been picked up because Universal apparently will make anything because Universal made this film. There are some hidden things about this film, like the budget. I looked around; has not been disclosed anywhere, or the profits made from this film. So that's a bit worrying. I mean, we found some rubbish films, and they've told us the budget. But if KSI is hiding all that money allegedly, can I say that?
Because he doesn't want to show that it lost money because everyone pirated it.
I like the idea him and Casper Lee pirated it, so they had something to say about it.
Yeah, probably.
But final fact of the film, big fact, best fact that you're ever going to hear. This is James Gunn's favourite YouTuber-based film.
Hooray.
Mhm.
Yay!
Confirmed by the one and only James Gunn.
We love James Gunn.
James Gunn is the best.
Please be a guest on our podcast.
Follow him on Twitter for fun.
Oh no, Adam, what film are we reviewing next?
I don't know, Nick.
Oh, we should have got like a hat and like.
Shut up,
slips of
Jack!
paper
Jack, it's an
with each
audio-based thing. Look, I'll get the hat now. That's a heavy hat.
You dropped the hat, Adam.
I'll go pick up the hat again, and I'll be more careful this time not to peek anything.
Quick, get the hat, get the paper out the hat. Can you hear the rustling?
Is that ASMR?
And
Listen.
what film is next, Adam?
It's 70s, the original. I mean, no, it's Death Tunnel.
Death Tunnel.
The best horror film I've ever seen.
Thanks, Jack.
It's also on theme because guess where Death Tunnel was filmed and is based?
Missouri, America. Jack, where
No,
are you
Kentucky.
currently?
It's in Kentucky.
Missouri, America. Jack,
No
where
one's
are
going to
you
look this up,
currently?
Jack. Just lie. Lie, lie, lie. Where are you now, Jack?
Pardon?
Jack!
What?
Guess where this film's based?
Missouri, America.
And guess where our special international co-host is based?
Missouri, America.
Missouri, America. That's where I am.
It's definitely not Kentucky.
Live.
Anyway, Death Tunnel is awful. It's a bad film. It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
However,
I thought it was great.
Nick was horribly blind during our screening of this. So let me tell you what happened in Death Tunnel.
Please tell me what happened.
Gather
in
round.
Death Tunnel.
Everyone gather round.
This podcast is
Shuffled
going to
into
be
the campfire.
Adam reading off synopses
Well, you two
online
just get-
because we don't remember the films.
Okay, we watched these films about a year now.
Probably a year
About
ago.
a year now. And because they're so bad, IMDb don't even have the references to them. So you have to do a little bit of digging. But 5 women get locked in an abandoned hospital where a disease known as the White Plague was once treated in a... Oh, no, I've skipped to a new page. Fuck! I hate Word on phones. Okay. You've just turned down my headphones.
Sorry, I meant to turn down mine.
Am I too loud for you, Nick?
Yeah, you are. You're
Welcome
hurting my
to
eardrums.
my world.
What do you mean?
You deafen me every week. Anyway.
Deafen?
Right. Death Tunnel. Let me tell you the synopsis of Death Tunnel.
Please tell me the synopsis of Death Tunnel. I'm dying to hear it.
Oh, if you die when you're watching Death Tunnel, you get thrown down a tunnel.
What? Just get on with it.
Yeah, I'll
Come
get
on,
on
we
with
haven't got time.
Got all the time in the world. Jack's editing.
Oh yeah, that's true.
5 women.
What is this going to be done for? Is this going to be done for Sunday?
Sunday. Try and get it to us Saturday. If not, then early Sunday.
'Cause we have to
Remember
go
the
in and
show's at 7, so we need it at 5:30 our time latest.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'll just do it for Saturday.
Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
5 women get locked in an abandoned hospital where the disease, the White Plague, was once treated in a kind of initiation sorority thing.
I guess.
It's all being run by 3 guys on security cameras, kind of a bit like Saw, in a way.
I
And then,
guess.
and then suddenly, these 5 mysterious monsters appear and kill the 3 dudes.
I guess.
And then it just becomes, 5 girls trying to survive as these 5 weird-looking, monstery ghost things stalk them.
I guess.
It's not very scary.
No, it's not.
So the tagline for this...
Monster Mash film.
I just reset there. The taglines for this film are pretty boring as well. There's really nothing interesting about this film. It's dull to look at. It's dull to watch. It's really grating in terms of story and colour. Anyway, 5 girls, 5 floors, 5 ghosts.
There weren't 5 floors though. There was like 7 floors.
Look, don't argue with me.
but
Argue
but
it's
all
what's
goes
on the
together.
DVD
It's
case.
way better tagline.
But
Yeah,
it
then it's
doesn't
like a
make
haiku,
sense,
Nick.
Jack. It doesn't make sense, Jack. Jack.
But it sounds good. Doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense.
So there is really nothing interesting apart from the place where this filmed had a really good BuzzFeed Unsolved episode based in it. That's literally the most interesting thing about this place, is that another show did something better there. The estimated budget was $1.5 million
No.
dues. Yep.
Don't know where that was spent.
No.
Where did that go?
What do you think it is? It's one of those tax loophole things,
Oh.
allegedly.
Oh, it was like an Uwe Boll film.
Allegedly, Jack.
I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed at this point.
Can we get a fact check on the fact checking, please? But also, well, while we get fact checked, I'll just do the final fact that I managed to salvage from hours of research on this film. Literal seconds of research. This is James Gunn's favourite horror film, based around the sole principle of transporting dead bodies through some form of tunnel.
Makes sense.
It's actually a surprisingly big category of films.
Yeah.
There's some rom-coms in there, but this one is his favourite horror.
I prefer the term high concept drama.
On to the next film.
This is an edit point, by the way. No, this is like an edit point for the edit point. You're going to cut this one out of the uncut
No,
version.
you're not.
Right, I'll text you it then.
Okay.
I'll text you that.
Okay. Oh yeah, we're definitely
On to the next film.
we go.
we're definitely keeping it in.
I'm just going to keep all of these awkward pauses in. Like, I'm not going to edit the unedited version of it.
Jack, we're trying to have a conversation with each other without you here.
Oh, okay. Well,
Without saying anything, because we can't mute our
I'll
own
feel
microphones.
left out in peace.
Are you ready for the third film in the mega backlog film?
I am so ready, Adam
Episode.
Dokhan of the Bargain Bin Podcast,
Let's
at
just-
Phantom Cheesy on Twitter.
Very good. Let's just have a quick refresher of the theme song, Jack.
Backlog, go to do your backlog.
I think that was slightly different, but we're going to roll with
Yeah,
it.
we'll just roll with that, Jack. Okay, I'm going to present to you a nightmare situation. Okay? And then I want you to say the first word that pops into your head from what I'm describing. Okay? You wake up. You're late. You're late for school. You're in year 10, right? You're late for school. Big day. Big important day. You can't remember what's important, but you know you have to be there by 9 a.m. You panic. Okay? You're putting your clothes on. You're running out the door. Then you brush your teeth. Then you leave. And you run to school. You just make it. There's no one around. It's completely empty. It's an empty playground, empty schoolyard, and then Jack, stop fiddling with your microphone. You run. You're like, where is everyone? You realise they're all in the sports hall. Why are they all in the sports hall? You run in. You open the door. What's going on?
An exam.
Correct. The film we're now talking about is Exam.
It's got nothing to do with a school or an exam.
I know, but I couldn't think of any way of working the word exam in.
Cut that whole bit out, Jack.
I thought that was all
I will
right.
do.
I thought that was an interesting interlude. I don't know. It's just a bit different than going, now we're talking about exam.
Okay.
If you do the same thing I just did, I'm going to hit you with that water bottle.
I'm just going to cut out
Jack,
all of that, apart from the bit where you
Jack,
just say, and now we're
Jack,
talking about exam, and that's going
Jack!
to be
And now we're talking about Exam. Thriller mystery film that's all set in one room about people locked in a room together.
It's really good.
It's actually pretty surprisingly decent.
I like to think of it as kind of like Lost, where it's really good until the end.
Yeah, like the first 2/3 of it was really good, but when it started unraveling and when the mystery started being solved towards the end, it got less good, but it was enjoyable.
Jack, thoughts?
I still really enjoyed this film. Like the pacing was relatively good, apart from the last third where you just kind of stop caring about all the characters. But yeah, it's a pretty good film.
Yeah, it's a pretty good locked room. So, quick rundown. There are 5 people?
Five or six.
5, 6 people who go for this mysterious job interview. It's set in the future. There's some future-y things going on, but that's not really important to the story. It's dropped in occasionally, but nothing important. And they're all made to sit down at a desk, and they've got a piece of paper in front of them, a pencil, and all the exam stuff. A guy comes in who is, I think, the guy in Doctor Who played Mr. Moon in the library episode. I could be wrong. I think.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
That's for one person who'll go, oh, he's done research, which I haven't. Just a racist. No. Cut that.
Don't cut that.
Don't encourage him.
Jack.
Hmm?
Jack, cut that.
Don't cut it.
Yes, hello.
You wouldn't have heard it. Anyway, so yeah, they get set, it's like, are you ready for your exam? And they're like, okay, let's do an exam. But they're like, if you answer anything wrong, you'll get taken out of the running for the job. So it's kind of interesting. There are like some twists and turns. It's kind of like a puzzle room kind of thing.
Kind of like an escape room.
That's
Yeah,
the word.
honestly, every time I try and think about this film, I just think of the film that came out last year, the Escape Room film, and I can't get that out of my head, even though that's a way worse film. That's all I'm thinking about. So
by Britney Spears.
I can't remember very much of this actual film.
I remember bits of it because once again, last year. There's some like lateral thinking puzzles you've got to do. Like they try and figure out if the paper that they're supposed to be writing on has any information on it. They break some like the glass in the light, and then it goes like into a blue filter, then into a red filter. There's a guy with a gun. It's all quite cool. It's quite tense, and there's a lot of like backwards and forward between characters, like arguing over like their beliefs and stuff. It's weird. It was sold as a mixture of Saw and what was the other film?
Escape Room.
They planned ahead. Anyway, it was banked as that, because there's like a clip where they get like a razor blade and they're gonna cut someone's leg or something to prove a point.
Oh, would you rather?
Yeah, that also came out afterwards, but it's kind of like sold as this like, oh, will they kill each other to get the prize? It's not like that at all in the film. It's one moment, and it's not even that intense for a bit. But there is like there's a shot on
the whole finale is them all trying to kill each other.
yeah, but it's not like what they did in the end of what the DVD suggests, where it's like they had the eye and they were going to cut someone's eye with it. But they don't do that at all in it.
What?
The back of the DVD case says like, how far would you go to get the perfect job? And there's a razor blade, and it's getting close to someone's eye.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That's the Would You Rather poster.
Maybe I've...
Yeah, that is the poster.
No,
for
I
Would
swear
You
that was the
Rather.
back of
Right,
it.
I'll check the DVD cover when we get home, and I'll prove you wrong for next week's episode.
Oh, we'll remember
I mean,
that.
guaranteed that is the poster for Would You Rather. So
Yeah, but what if Would You Rather nicked it from a film that no one saw?
Everyone saw this. We saw this.
We are everyone. Anyway, Exam, I kind of
We
liked
are
it.
very diverse.
We are. Yeah, we literally cover every demographic.
we do.
Gonna have to cut this bit.
Why has Nick suddenly died?
We can't say.
Nick did a very offensive impression.
No, not that at all. Oh God! Right. Okay.
You've gone bright pink. She need a minute. Uncut version of the podcast. Ba, 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 ba.
Do you want to say what you whispered out loud?
No, because it's a very bad slur. And James Cameron has never done that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Is that okay? James Cameron's never done that, allegedly. So meaning he has done that.
Allegedly.
Okay, we're fine now.
Okay, right. Carry on.
Anyway, Exam, I liked it. I thought it was good. Ending.
Hello.
Sorry about that, Jack. Nick dropped something.
On my.
Well,
foot.
I think they just like cut out for a while.
No, my foot ankle thing was messed up, so I had to redo it.
And he kind of...
Oh, okay. I also realised we didn't give Late in America a score.
We haven't
Oh, it
got-
doesn't matter. We won't
Well,
do scores.
no, we'll just ramp him at the end, and
we
you've got to
didn't.
put him
Do,
in.
we didn't give Death Tunnel 1 either.
No, we'll just add it. We'll add it in.
We'll do it all.
Oh, I
at the
forgot
end.
about that.
Yeah, don't worry, Jack.
Forgot
Yeah,
we
exactly.
fucking
We did
talked
Death
about
Tunnel.
it.
This is going to come in at half an hour, isn't it? Anyway, we've got loads to talk about. Yeah, Exam. Lots of kind of puzzly things, lots of bits going on. I enjoyed it. I thought all the like the characters and the acting really diverse, really fun. There was no one really annoying. There were some really dumb moments. I remember like the rule is you can't leave the room. If you leave the room, you're disqualified. And you think this lady's going to leave, and then she's like, "Oh, she hasn't. She's actually still got her toe in the room. She's outsmarted you. Ha ha ha."
Outsmarted the system.
So it's done moments like that, but overall, I think it's one of the more enjoyable films we've probably ever watched.
Probably up there.
I thought this would work really well. I thought it was like it should have had a longer format, but not like a.
How would you have made it?
Oh,
Much
I meant
longer?
like a TV show, like where you could spend one episode doing one bit, one episode doing the
that
middle
would have
bit,
been
and
way
then
too long.
no, they're kind of like Lost, where it's just like because there was a lot of mysteries in it.
None of us have ever seen Lost.
I've seen Lost.
No, you haven't.
I've seen bits of Lost.
No,
Never
I've seen
seen
the ending of
Lost.
Lost. Why are they in the church?
I've seen the ending of Lost. It had no context associated
I
with
played
it.
the
but-
I've played the Minecraft map of Lost.
Nerd.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Nerd.
It's pretty good though. Do
Nerd.
you want to play a Minecraft series?
Nerd.
I'm not hearing a no.
Nerd.
I'm not hearing a yes.
Nerd.
I'm hearing a yes.
Nerd.
Goodman podcast do a Minecraft series confirmed.
Nerd. Nerd.
Okay,
Hello.
and that.
Oh, okay. Don't worry.
This is uneditable. This is unsalvageable. How bad this is. This is why we all write notes. Hold yourself together, man. I need to say one more fact.
I'm ready.
So yeah, I liked Exam. We all liked Exam. It was all right. I think it should have been 3 episodes, but that's just my think. There's not much else more about Exam that I could find. Not much at all. I mean, apart from it being James Gunn's favourite film about standardised testing in a post-apocalyptic environment for jobs. But yeah, that's Exam.
That is Exam.
That is
Hey,
examination.
Do you know what you should do? Let's give this a score, like we've given all the other ones a score. Before we finish on Exam, Nick, how many AQA exam papers out of 10 would you give this film? Can you give it some effort when you say a word?
8.
Keep going.
8.5.
One more time and we'll get through a whole
You give this an 8 out of 10?
sentence.
6.4.
6.
6.4, ladies and gentlemen. 6.4.
Do you want to say that without slurring all the words?
6.4.
You can't do it. I'll come back to you, don't worry. Hey, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give this a score like we always do for our films. How many AQA exam papers out of 10 would you give this film?
I'd give it a solid 7 AQA exam papers out of 10.
Nick, how many weird invigilators walking around you doing your test in those weird white trainers out of 10 would you give it?
6.4, Adam.
Sorry, can you do that again?
6.4, Adam.
Now you can speak, Jack. It's hard, isn't it, coming up with these, isn't it?
Adam, how many AdXL exam papers out of 10 would you give it? Give it.
Break it down. Well, first off, I admire your imaginative skill there. And 2, I'd give it 5.5. Yeah, that's right. Because I value AdXL tests over AQA. Yeah. That's Exam, everybody. Bumper episode. Loads of films. Not much energy.
Our next film is a double special. 2 films. One of them's a sequel to the other one. It's in a series. That series is called Cheaper by the Dozen. We're reviewing Cheaper by the Dozen 1 and Cheaper by the Dozen 2. Both starring Steve Martin and his 12 kids and his
both
wife.
of them are terrible.
I liked them.
The first one's a fun romp. The second one's a fun romp. They're both a fun romp.
But together
They're awful. Watch them back to back. Try and watch them back to
You
back.
would watch them back to
Double
back.
dare
That was
you.
hard.
Double dare you, audience. It's hard to watch them back to back.
Wasn't the guy... Ashton Kutcher was in the first one, wasn't he?
He was like...
Yeah, he just got bullied by the kids.
Older daughter's generic love interest.
I felt sorry for him. I don't know why. And then suddenly you found out he was a doorknob. And then you couldn't feel sorry for him because he was like, oh, I don't care. You shouldn't go be with your family. It's like, nah, go away, Ashton Kutcher. Go make The Butterfly Effect, that really bad film.
Ashton Kutcher's like a...
Oh, is that a really
major-
bad film?
Yeah.
I was going to watch it.
He's a major good guy now. He quit. No, he's like does loads of work against human trafficking and stuff.
Yeah.
And sex slaves.
He does some really good stuff.
But like no one took him seriously because of it, because he was an actor. So he just quit acting to focus on helping people who are
Is
sex
that why you don't
slaves.
see him anymore?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Quit
Well done,
acting
Ashton
to
Kutcher.
help with human trafficking and human rights issues.
Good guy, good guy.
Good guy.
What did you think of Steve Martin's performances throughout these films?
It was very Steve Martin-ish.
Love a bit of Steve Martin.
I can't stand Steve
I
Martin.
like Steve
Just
Martin.
like putting it out there, cannot stand the man. I find him exceptionally annoying to watch. I don't think he can act. Why he keeps on getting acting, and he genuinely is just like someone's dad who is acting in a film and has no previous acting experience. I can't stand him.
Well, some people might say the same about you, Jack. How would that make you
Yeah, but I don't-
feel?
I don't
How would
try
that
to act
make
that.
you feel?
Okay, listeners, we went for a high five and we missed then.
No, we didn't. We hit. Jack, edit this back in.
Mm-hmm.
You're missing on purpose now.
Oh, I'm not.
There you go.
Yeah. Get owned, son.
Just let me shake my foot.
Can you stop doing that? It's really off-putting.
Sorry.
I'm gonna have to keep on like taking that out, Nick, of the edit.
No,
And it's not gonna be fun.
Yeah, we've purposely given you a really hard one this week.
no, not on purpose. It's just this week was always going to be a shit show.
I don't know.
It's all good. I'll blow you away with my incredible editing skills. You won't believe how good I am at editing.
Okay, we won't.
Cheaper by the dozen, Adam. Give it out of 12 children. How many?
Sorry, are
would
you just
give
going to
it?
cut out all just no information? Cheap by the Dozen is a film.
Can
What
we
do you
move
think?
on? Right, let's get through all these, then we'll have an actual discussion about the Oscars and salvage this episode.
I think this is going. I
We
think
don't. We
this is the
don't need
funniest
it. We
episode
can
so
just.
far.
We can just cut it after Cheaper by the Dozen. Maybe do one more film. Like we don't have to do all of our backlog.
How many did we have on the
I
list?
don't know, I
Because
think
there's a
there's
lot.
two
I picked
more.
out the
You
ones
picked
which were
all of
like.
them.
No, I picked out the ones that were like the best ones to do. We won't do Zombies of War. We won't do Fanboys. We're saving Go anyway. Yeah, Cheap by the Dozen is the last one,
Okay.
and then we can have
Yeah.
a big Oscars discussion, and we can salvage the episode, and it'll be great. Look, we'll look right, audience, uncut listeners. You're gonna love it. This next half an hour is gonna be the best podcasting you've ever heard.
That's a big ask.
That's an Adam Dokhan guarantee. If you have an issue with that, tweet at PhantomGC on Twitter.
Can you first follow
Abuse.
me, then tweet me? Just because I'm a narcissist, I need the numbers. Right, Nick. Before we move on, can you give me a combined synopsis of Cheaper by the Dozen 1 and 2 as a whole?
Okay, a combined synopsis. Steve Martin and his wife have 12 kids. These kids all have different issues which Steve Martin has to sort out and help them with. They all fall out as a family, but in the end, they all come together to achieve something, and it's great.
Tell me what happens in the second one, Nick.
That's the combined synopsis.
Yeah, no, I just want a little bit more information about the second
The
one.
second one is exactly the same, except instead of set at their new house, it's set on like a summer lake camp.
And one of the daughters is pregnant. That's a big thing.
Oh yeah, not
Yeah.
one of the young kids. It's not one of those films. Like one of the
No.
the eldest daughter is.
The eldest daughter, who's like early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, early 30s, 40s, 50s. I don't care enough.
She's in her 50s.
She's really old.
How old's Steve Martin?
Yeah, 72.
Is he?
Is he?
No, I have no fucking clue.
Hey Siri,
Stop saying things with confidence.
Go ahead.
how old is Steve Martin?
Steve Martin is 73.
Ooh!
How old is
well
he?
done, Jack.
73.
73.
Oh wow, what's close? Jesus.
Southampton are winning. Romeo has scored. Southampton 1, Fulham 0.
Can you not time date the episode? This goes out live, Nick.
No one cares about football.
I'm
except
cutting
me.
everything about football. If you mention football, I will entirely cut it out
Football.
for my own personal bias against football.
Football. Football. Football.
If you want to learn more about football, you can tune into a different show on Brayford. Am I right, Nick?
I don't
Yeah, you
know.
can tune into that one that is it Ben does.
I thought you would know that. I was setting you up for
I
it.
don't know any Brayford shows except ours.
And our
And our rival Cinescope, because you have to know your enemy. Cinescope, you haven't hit us up yet. Come fight us.
Well, we will. How many members of Sinners? We can all have a boxing match against one of them.
it's
No,
like
you're
Hydra.
the
If you
only
take one
doing
out, a few more
boxing.
take their place. It's gonna be a hard fight.
They're a Hydra.
Send in your fan art to thebargainbin@gmail.com of Jack fighting a Hydra with Cinescope's faces on.
So Adam,
I want to Photoshop that now.
So Adam, out of 12 Steve Martin children, how many scores would you give this films?
Well, I would give these films 6.5 Steve Martin Children's out of 12, and by that I mean we're going to just cut one of them in half. You can pick which one. Maybe the one that's Lizzie McGuire. Just cut her in half.
Jack, how many dozens out of 12 would you give these films?
I'd give it a 1 out of 12. Not 1 dozen though, because that would give me a 12 out of 12. But just one out of 12, because both of these films combined are terrible. I hate them both.
Sorry, just to use the right metric, are we using normal dozen or baker's dozen?
Normal dozen.
Okay. Just want to get that.
You've just got to double check.
I can't believe you found that funny, Jack. That was a shit joke. Okay, how many... Oh, you're so lucky. Someone fell asleep in my workshop today.
Just ask me the question.
I'm trying to think, Nick. It's hard to think of these witty remarks.
How many pregnant women giving birth on a boat out of 12 would you give this?
Just 12 out of 12. I love Cheaper by the Dozen. Steve Martin's my favourite man in the world. I love all his 12 kids, especially the twins.
Nick's going to prison.
Not in that way, in like a family way, not a touchy way.
And that was cut from the podcast. Well, I hope you enjoyed the super bumper episode. Well, I mean, I did, Nick didn't. But I hope you enjoyed us trying to remember films that we haven't watched for an entire year and talk about
Now
them.
we're actually going to move on to an interesting, slightly better segment.
Yay.
But first, Jack, outro theme song for the super bumper episode.
Outro theme tune for the Super Bumper episode. You're going to love next week when we don't do a Super Bumper episode.
And now, because it was the Oscars this week, we're going to have a discussion about that. Jack, intro
Yay.
jingle for the Oscars.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
I said, Jack, intro jingle for the Oscars.
It's the Oscars, not a competition of whether your film is good or not, but whether you can pay enough money.
Worried you were going to say something else
Allegedly.
then, Jack.
Allegedly. Not a competition of whether your film is good or not, or how many black actors you have. Wakanda forever.
But Black Panther had so many black actors. That didn't win the Oscar, though.
All I'm
Yeah, but
saying
it
is
got
three white
nominated
guys
because of
discussing
it.
this is a very risky topic.
Fuck 'em.
Who?
Cut
Fuck
that.
who?
Cut that.
Fuck
least
who,
Moon Knight
Nick?
was good.
Who are we
Cut
fucking,
that.
Nick?
Okay,
It wasn't even the best Marvel film to come out that year.
so the Oscars. I didn't watch them, but I watched all.
Oh, we're going to do a big section about the Oscars. I didn't watch it.
I didn't
but-
watch them, but we know.
But we can just comment on all the films.
Yeah,
We don't
know.
actually need to see all the speeches and stuff.
We know who won. We watched.
And Lady
like,
Gaga breaks
Yeah.
down or
Let's,
something. I don't know.
Let's have a quick roundup. Out of all of us, Nick has seen the most Oscar films, I think.
I think out of the 8 for Best Picture, I've seen 4 of
Do you want
them.
to just give us a quick rundown of the ones that were and the ones you've seen?
So the ones
Which
I've
ones have I
seen are Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, and Roma. Those are the ones I've seen, and the other ones were Green Book, which won Best Picture, The Favourite, A Star Is Born, and Vice. So out of the ones
I've only seen 2 of these. I've only seen Panther and Black Klansman.
Oh, that's good, because we're going to talk
The
about it later.
Favourite
Right.
was supposed
So-
to be amazing. So
The Favourite was supposed to
I
be
wish
pretty
that
Had
good.
boobies in it.
I'd like to say Roma. Roma and The Favourite were the favourites to win. I watched Roma last week. Technically and directorially, it's amazing and stunning visually, but in terms of a story and a narrative and in terms of caring, it was awful. I did not have any emotional connection to the characters in it at all. I thought it was boring and dull, and I didn't like it. So that's Roma.
It's fair enough. I heard a lot
Oh,
of people say that about it,
interesting.
really.
It's like a filmmaker's film.
Yeah, people have said it's just a film.
Yeah. If you like artsy stuff and really nice cinematography, then watch it. But if not, don't, because it's dull.
And that's what I always hate about the Oscars, is because whenever there's an Oscar film, it is, this film was designed for this one purpose. It wasn't just, it's a great film,
Well,
and it works. And
not
people,
necess-
no, I
not-
mean, in general, with that's how I feel the Oscars are, is like,
yeah,
people
with,
go out to, it's not like,
something like Vice.
Yeah.
That film was purely made as Oscar bait.
yeah, I'm saying
Yeah.
there's less now, but that has been like a trend. And now like Spider-Verse getting
Spider-Verse.
into like a nominated position and winning, I think that's just to show that we're moving away from that, which I think is much better.
Spider-Verse in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse won Best Animated Picture.
And it's like,
I thought I watched
good.
it the day of the Oscars. I thought it was really great.
Yeah,
I really loved
I'm
it.
glad it won that because it's one of the best animations I've seen.
Black Panther, no comment.
It shouldn't
Was
shouldn't
it-
have been
it
on
shouldn't
there.
have-
What was
Like
it
it's not.
nominated for?
It's not even
Best
like
Picture.
close to
Didn't it win something else?
even
It,
being
it-
nominated for an
it
Oscar.
won like costume design and
fair
set
enough.
design and stuff, but it was
good
nominated for Best Picture and shouldn't have been. Then the other 2 that I've seen are Bohemian Rhapsody and Black Klansman. All 3 of us have seen Black Klansman, so we can talk
Yeah.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
But Jack, have you seen Bohemian Rhapsody?
I haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody. I've heard it's pretty good
Okay,
from
I-
some people
you
and then
haven't- you
terrible
haven't
from
seen
No,
others.
when
So
it came out, we
I-
were going to watch it, and then There was, like, the early reviews, someone said, "Oh, it's not very good." And I was like, "No, I won't watch it." But I regret that wholly.
I watched Bohemian Rhapsody. I thought it was great. I love Queen. I love Freddie Mercury. I watched the film. It was really good. I really enjoyed it from start to finish. I thought it was a great kind of like biopic as well as a look at the band as a whole. Rami Malek in it did a pretty good job. I have no complaints about him winning Best Actor.
Yeah, I think he deserves it.
He did a great job. But yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody is really good. I recommend it to everyone.
What if you hate Queen? I don't. I love Queen, but like,
No one
what if you
hates
hate Queen?
No one hates Queen.
Do you think... So early on in the production for Bohemian Rhapsody, it was Sandra Baron Cohen?
Very early on
Very
in
early
the
on,
process, Sacha Baron Cohen was going to be Freddie.
You call him Sandra?
Yeah, I don't know why. I think... Do you know why? I combined him and Sandra Bullock.
My wife!
Borat, anyway. Borat was in the running to be... And I think they did, like, some screen tests and stuff. Now, he only left for creative differences in terms of when they were making the film, when he signed on to it, they were just going to make a Freddie Mercury film and end it when Freddie dies. But the band wanted
it to be more about Queen.
Now, apparently, when they did the screen test with him in the makeup, it was uncanny of how, A, he could sing, and with the prosthetic teeth and the mustache, you couldn't tell the difference. Apparently,
he does look like him.
Yeah, apparently it was like he had the presence, he had the walk, he had everything, and he left for that.
Oh yeah, I imagine he would have like the presence.
Yeah. And it was a serious film that he was going to play it serious, but serious like Freddie would. I'm just wondering, do you think that would have been a better direction for the film, or do you like that they went with?
Maybe. I like the whole thing
about
seeing... It very much still is a Freddie Mercury biopic, but there is a lot about the band in it as well, and I enjoyed that aspect of it. But in terms of like presence and capturing who Freddie was, I thought Rami Malek did a really good job. I know he worked loads on like analysing every little movement, and if you watch, there's like side-by-side videos of the Live Aid concert, the real one and then the one they did for the film, and it's like every little move he gets spot on and it looks exactly like Freddie. So I'm not...
Didn't they film that first?
Yeah,
that was the first like few days of filming.
Which is a tough thing to start with.
Which is the end of the film.
That's a tough thing to go, right, you're going to do one of the most iconic things ever. Go first.
Yeah. You're going to do We Are the Champions at Live Aid as Freddie, first day on set.
But that is a great... I think as something to start with, to get you into the mind of him at his highest, like, ultimate Freddie.
Yeah.
Everything else you do will just fall into place, I think.
So, yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody, pretty good. Pretty damn good.
Yep, I think I'm going to watch it as soon as I can.
Yeah, it won Best Editing, though, which I'm not sure about.
I had a lot of people say that.
Yeah, because...
Yeah, I've heard the editing was, like, downright bad.
Yeah, there's a couple of moments where, like, they're making the songs where the editing's really good, but then in the rest of the film, they had a lot of... It was a lot of bad cuts and bits that felt like they were missing because of the editing, but that's because of the trouble they had with the director, Bryan Singer. With like 2 or 3 weeks left on production, he went missing from set, and someone else had to step in and direct for the last 2 weeks.
Oh right.
Yeah.
That's weird. I didn't realize it was a Bryan Singer film at all.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah, because he basically just like stopped caring about it.
Yeah, he had creative differences with literally every single cast and group member, so he just left.
Did he want to make it like Last Stand?
No. God.
Ugh, Last Stand. Right. So Bohemian Rhapsody. Would recommend. Definitely going to watch it, and I'm really proud that Rami Malek actually has won Best Actor.
Yeah.
I think he's really deserving of it, and like
it's like Freddie Mercury's a story about a first generation Englishman who's like moved from
India, I think.
Not
well,
India.
No, he was schooled in India.
Yeah, he was.
I'm
not sure exactly
the place
what country
in,
it is, but I don't want to say Kazakhstan.
No, Jack. The one in Metal Gear they mention, the very first one.
Afghanistan.
No, the one with a really big name. It'll come to me.
Anyway,
which Metal Gear are we talking? There's
Metal Gear
like
1.
tons of them.
He's like
solid
first generation Englishman who like became famous and everything. And Rami Malek was like born in Egypt, moved to America. He's a first generation American, and he's won the Oscar for playing like a similar character. So it's quite good.
I recommend anyone who doesn't know much about Rami Malek watch the Vice or Pop or whatever they're called, that kind of interview he does, where he talks about how no one said he could be an actor because of his like heritage and what he is, and then he went, did a little, some short film stuff, and then did Mr. Robot, which is about a white middle American, semi-psychotic guy.
If you haven't seen the first season of
Mr. Robot,
I really
amazing.
recommend it. Second season, third season, not so much, but first season of Mr. Robot is definitely 100% worth
It's
the
one of
watch.
those ones where Amazon don't make great stuff, but when they do,
It's good.
they make it really well.
But having said that about Bohemian Rhapsody, it wasn't my favourite. My favourite was the one we've all seen, Black Klansman.
I thought you were going to say Spider-Verse.
No,
Black Klansman was so good.
Black Klansman is so good.
very, very good.
I love Spike Lee.
If you've not heard of Black Klansman, it's based on a true story about a Colorado Police Department's first ever black police officer who was hired. He phoned up members of the KKK and managed to start being initiated as a member, and then he sent his Jewish colleague to play him in his role in the Klan, and infiltrated the Klan from the inside and got evidence against them. It's a really bizarre and funny kind of concept, but it happened in real life, and then they've made this film of it based on the book the officer wrote, and it is a really good film.
It's an amazing, if you were to pitch this idea, people would think you're mental, because that would never work, because none of this makes sense. But the idea that this happened, and the dedication that went into it, and all the work that the officers had to do to become each other, and they show a little bit of that at the beginning of the film, where Adam Driver's character is learning to speak like, I forgot his name, Denzel Washington's son.
Ron Starworth. That's the
The character's Ron,
name.
so Adam Driver's character is trying to learn to speak like Ron Starworth, who is played by
Denzel Washington's son. I don't know his name.
I'll look it up, because we should talk about his name if we're going to use it.
John David Washington.
So played by John David Washington. They try and learn how to sound like each other, which I thought was a really nice scene, because that's something you wouldn't even think about. Was obviously he's playing a white guy on the phone. The white guy's got to sound like the black guy a little bit.
Yeah.
And it works so well. It's charming. When it wants to be funny, it's funny, but it's not laugh out loud funny.
It was funny, but not laugh out loud funny.
It's that weird in between, which you want from a nice kind of film like this.
And then it had some horrifying moments in it as well.
When it goes dark, it works. It's just
there's a focus on Birth of a Nation.
That's
Obviously,
a big part of this,
really famous, important film. It's a big part of the storyline. Big part of what the Klan are doing.
It's what brought the Klan back.
Yeah, and it's kind of shocking. The ending scenes, especially, they used spoilers for Black Klansman, but
do go watch it.
Right at the end, after the film has ended, before the credits, there's footage of the Black Lives Matter protests and footage of the woman being hit by a car of someone who drove into the protests, and it is very powerful, and it has a really important message. This film,
it's super. I do love what they did for that moment, where it's just at the very end of the film. The film's ended, so you can theoretically, this is the end of the film, but this is what the film is about. It's this nice little after note, and they do intercut stuff with Trump speeches, with the head of the Klan's speeches at the same time.
David Duke,
and they talk about the rhetoric. I think it's David Duke.
David Duke.
And they talk
I think
about
that's his name.
The parallels between what they're saying and how it's kind of leading to what this film was trying to, at the time was trying to stop. It's really, really powerful. Genuinely, just you're sitting on the edge of your seat, just
There are some interesting things about this film, which I will mention. It is produced by Jordan Peele of Key and Peele fame, and
cool.
of the guy who wrote and directed Get Out 2 years ago.
Talking of which, his new film coming up, Us, looks incredible.
It does look good. So yeah, Jordan Peele was producing this film. He was writing the screenplay, and he asked Spike Lee to direct it, and Spike Lee said, "Yeah, as long as I can draw parallels to today's world and make it relevant." And
I'm glad
Jordan
they
Peele
chose
was
Spike Lee as a director.
Spike Lee as a
Malcolm X
director
being,
is a
his
perfect
echelon.
choice for it. And then another thing, Topher Grace, who played the head of the Klan, he got majorly depressed playing the head of the Klan. He really didn't like it, and afterwards, as a personal project, as a catharsism thing, he re-edited the Hobbit trilogy into one film to make it good, as his like catharsis end of
that's
the
cool.
shooting process.
Kind of like the Phantom edit.
Yeah, to like de-stress and get all the bad feelings out of him that he got from doing this movie.
As in, he was playing David Duke or the head of the sub-clan?
David Duke.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's...
Venom from Spider-Man 3. Topher Grace.
Oh, yeah. He's really, really good. Every actor in this is
Every actor's
amazing.
I love Adam Driver.
Adam Driver.
Adam
is,
Driver is
I
great.
think he's become like my favorite actor of this crop of actors. I want to say.
I get what you said.
After like my first introduction was in Star Wars, and I thought this is like really he's different. You know,
he was like it's like in Star Wars where every actor is like he stood out.
He stood
like,
out.
Damn, he's a good actor.
and he's
he
playing
shouldn't
quite a
be
difficult
wasted
role. He's playing a new Vader.
He shouldn't be wasted in Star Wars almost.
And then I don't know if many people saw Lucky Logan or Logan Lucky.
Logan
I
Lucky.
can't remember which way around it is. Which is Ocean's 11 set in the Deep South, and that's really fun. And it's him playing like a fun role. You can tell he's having fun in that, and I just think he nails anything he does. He's got a new film coming out as well. That I can't remember the name. I saw the trailer for it. And again, he looks. I don't know what it is. He just does everything.
He's a good
so
actor.
good. I'm really
The guy
rooting for him.
John David Washington, was it? Mm-hmm. John David Washington, really good as the
So
lead
cool.
role. There's
The lead female. In
the
this.
lead female. I don't know her name, but she played the love interest in the latest Spider-Man.
Laura Harrier.
That's the one. Yeah, she was really good in it. I really like the whole style of it as well. Obviously set in the 70s, all the hairdos. It's really really
I
cool.
loved his big afro that he
Yeah.
had. It was really cool. I love the fashion as well. Like he always made the joke of like, whenever they wanted him to be a black guy, he would just super like dress up for it.
yeah.
Like like the necklace stuff. Like there's a point in the film where, because there is a cop he's not corrupt, he's just a racist.
Yeah.
Throughout the film, gets David Duke.
Yeah.
No, sorry,
That's the clan man.
he gets David. What's the Denzel Washington's son's character called?
John David Washington. Oh,
Ron Stallworth.
Well, he gets Ron Stallworth to be like the protection decal for the head of the clan as a kind of I'm going to get back at this black guy for being in the precinct or whatever. And he plays that really well. He's over the top doing it, so he's supposed to make himself stand out.
That
It's
was
really funny. It's
a
really
really
good.
funny moment where you've got this clan meeting of initiation of new members with all the members of the clan. You've got the real Ron Stallworth, who's the protection officer for the head of the clan, the only black man in the room, and then you've got Adam Driver playing the fake Ron Stallworth that's infiltrated the clan, and they're all in the same room together, and it's like this kind of funny but tense, really good scene.
They balance that really well of like, you want to laugh, but then you're like, oh, everything's happening at once. Like, that was the fear at the beginning. We watched this with our friend, and he said that at the beginning, like, oh, are they going to do that now? I was like, no. And that's now in the back of my head, I'm worrying like, oh, that's going to happen. And it happened, but they styled, the characters and the actors styled it out, but the event still happened. It was really good. I loved it. And I think Adam Driver really, his character, like, he feels awkward saying the things he does, but also, like, you can tell he's, as in the character, is feeling awkward saying the things he's saying, because obviously they're against Jewish people, which his character was. But also, he's saying it, and he's also being okay with saying it because he's acting as this Klan's member. There's a lot of levels to all the acting in this, and they're really done superbly all the way through. I love the subplots as well, like all the other characters, like one of the Klansman's wife is all like, she's quite oppressed and just wants to be involved.
Wants to be involved in the clan, and they give her like the big job at the end.
I'm glad we're not spoiling too much of this, because I do recommend anyone watch this as soon as possible. The music's great in it.
The music is great. I love the dance scene.
Yeah, I loved all the colours in that, and just
so good.
a whole different environment. After you had quite tense racial tension moments, because you're going between clans and the
black community, kind of like the Black Lives Matter of that time.
And then they all move into this. The story goes on, and it's kind of like a respite, and they go into this. It's called the Red Lantern, like a club or something. And it's really nice
like
music,
a jive bar.
Everything's like really cool and relaxed. I love that scene. It's beautiful.
It's very good. So highly recommend Black Klansman. Also highly recommend Bohemian Rhapsody. Roma, meh. Black Panther, you've probably seen it. If you haven't, then you won't care for it.
Yeah, Spider-Verse,
Spider-Verse.
won Best Animated. Let's talk. Jack, have you seen Spider-Verse?
I haven't, no.
Okay, well, we'll avoid
I probably should.
spoilers and stuff. We'll
We'll
just talk
avoid
about what it
spoilers,
looks like.
but I thought it was really great having.
It's
such a. It's so
pretty.
The style of the
Yeah.
animation is so different to anything else, but it works so well and it's so pretty.
like there are so many details in it. Like I watched loads of, because I love this film. I watched so many details on like videos about the things they included. Like there are deliberate mistakes in the drawing to show like it's
so
actually
it's like
hand
a
drawn.
comic book.
They use old school comic book art style, which are loads of little dots
Loads of
to
little
color
dots, that's
everything
the one.
in. Everything's like got different layers of focus. So it feels like 3D but 2D. Everything's got the comic book haze to it. It's beautiful. I loved every second. The one thing I want to know is throughout the beginning mostly there's this kind of faux illusion that it's almost in 3D. Like
Yeah.
you can see two layers of things. I want to know if you wore
3D
glasses, would you get an effect that I like to think you do.
Maybe, because at times I was like, "Oh, is this supposed to be 3D?"
When
But
we
was just
first watched
once
it,
my
we
eyes
walked in
adjusted
late,
to it.
and I genuinely thought we had booked the wrong screen, which is a lot of people's like negatives they say with the film is they have that feeling. But I think if I was introduced that at the start, because we did miss the first like 3 minutes, I would have just gone with it. The characters are great. I love all the different Spider-Men in it. I'm not a huge Spider-Man fan for a comic book lover like me, so just seeing all these things, like I vaguely remember Spider-Man Noir from this game. Oh, it's Nick Cage. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite characters I've ever seen him do in this animated show. It's great.
All the voice acting is really good.
You care about every character
Yeah.
as well, and that's quite hard to do with an ensemble cast as well.
And also, it's having that diversity thing without pushing it in your face too much or making a big thing out of it like other films do. But yeah, at the acceptance speech, the writers and the producers went on and they said it's great seeing people on Twitter say like, I watched Spider-Verse with my son and he said, look, it's me on the screen, it looks like me. It's really like good seeing that stuff.
And I think it's a really good departure from, because we've had 3 Spider-Man films, we've had an origin sort of in each one. It's good that they did that as a joke. That's the ongoing joke.
The ongoing joke is the origin of all the different Spider-Men they introduce. Because if you don't know what we're talking about, this is a film about Spider-Man, but it's like all the different dimensions have different Spider-Mans and they all get put in the same dimension together and have to figure it out.
It's a big part of the comic books that I know of, the Spider-Verse. There are infinite numbers of stuff. It's a big thing in comic books, but one of its original origins is from Spider-Man, which is cool.
Yeah.
And this is Miles Morales, who is from the Ultimate Comics, is the second Spider-Man, but in this one he is. I was going to spoil it. I don't want to say it for Jack, but yeah, this is Miles Morales' story. It's his origin. It's pretty similar in many respects in terms of the spider, of how he gets it and stuff in different places, but visually, this is one of the best animations ever made. I think this is the best Spider-Man film ever made. I think it's better than Spider-Man 2, which is a big saying.
I would agree. Hang on, let me say that again. I would agree that this is the best Spider-Man film yet.
Yeah,
and
it's not a Peter Parker story.
It's not a Peter Parker
It
story.
has
I've been
elements.
saying for ages, when Marvel got the rights to Spider-Man, I was like, please do a Miles Morales Spider-Man. I'm sick of Peter Parker Spider-Man. Do a Miles Morales one. Then they did the thing with Peter Parker with Tom Holland. I was like, okay, this is good. It's acceptable. Then after Infinity War, I was like, please keep him dead and just have the balls to carry on the Spider-Man thing with a Miles Morales character. But they brought Tom Holland back. I'm so glad we've got a Miles Morales Spider-Man because, in my opinion, I love Peter Parker, but Miles Morales is way better of a character.
Yeah, and he's also coming back. He's in the mainstream of the comics now.
Yeah.
Because he's from the Ultimate Comics, which is like a run in the early 2000s where everything was like edgy and real. Everything apart from the Spider-Man stuff is really boring. Like there's a really dull Thor and Iron Man stuff. But Miles Morales came from that, and he was like the fan favorite. And he's been moved into, like Spider-Gwen has moved into like the mainstream. They're all in the main universe and stuff, and they take over from each other. It's really cool. I think we are going to get a Miles Morales in the MCU because it's been set up a lot.
It's been set up with Donald Glover's character.
Yeah, he's playing
Donald Glover's character in Homecoming played the uncle of Miles
Yeah, I was
Morales.
going to say he's
and the uncle of Miles Morales is a big character in Spider-Verse.
Yeah, and do you know why Spider-Verse exists? Is because of Donald Glover. Like when they were writing it, and they did the Community sketch where he's dressed as Spider-Man, and then that went all over Twitter.
There was a
"Do you know who should
massive
play Miles
campaign
Morales?"
to get him to play in The Amazing Spider-Man, the one that Andrew Garfield got in the end. There was a big online campaign.
think that
saying,
would have been
hey, this
amazing.
comedic guy from Community should be Spider-Man.
Spooderman.
Should be Spooderman. Obviously, Donald Glover wasn't really well known.
He did a
then,
good
but
routine about it in his stand-up show about him becoming Spider-Man. He was like, "Yeah, all right, I'll be Spider-Man," and then they cast Andrew Garfield. But I hope we get a live-action version. They are in talks to make a sequel, which I am really excited for, because
there's
more of
talks
this.
either to have a sequel to this or to turn it into like a TV show.
But it's not like a long-running one; it's a 10-episode one, and they're like,
Which is
"We're
good,
going
'cause
to do
that
10."
that would be my gripe with it. It'd be if they turned it into just superhero animated TV show, then it would lose all its charm.
From the rough rumours I've heard, it's going to kind of be a lock 10, 13 episodes. Each one will be either Morales or maybe like specials with the other Spider-Men, like a noir special. And it will be like a different villain each time.
Ooh,
So
I
you
like
get to
that.
see like, what would Shocker look like in this
'Cause
kind of...
I like the villains.
Yeah, the
they
villains
did
are
in this
really,
one.
really cool.
There's kind of like a shock twist moment where it reveals one of the villains.
And that's another thing which is done really well, is that's actually laid the groundwork throughout the entire film. There's
Yeah.
loads of references to it. Unless you look back, you don't see it. I've just realised which one you're talking about. I'm talking about the other one.
You're talking. Oh yeah, there's two. I was talking about that one.
I'm talking about that one too.
Oh right, and then
that
we
one, yeah.
both realised the other one while we were talking about that one.
That's really
Okay.
good. I think Kingpin as a
Kingpin,
villain,
Wilson Fisk.
he's done really well
He's
in
done
Daredevil.
really good in Daredevil. He's amazing.
Sorry,
in
the
this, he's-
TV version
yeah.
of Daredevil, not the film version.
And he's great in this as well. I like how when he like moves forward into frame, the whole frame goes black, and you just see his face.
got a tiny
because
face.
yeah, he's supposed to be, his shoulders are supposed to be so broad it like blocks the screen.
I really hope the actor who's playing Wilson Fisk in the now cancelled Daredevil show does show up to punch Tom Holland, because
At some point.
he is huge,
huge.
and Tom Holland is so small.
Vincent D'Onofrio, I think his
Yeah,
name is,
yeah, that name does ring a bell.
from Full Metal Jacket.
He
Private
is.
Pile.
Oh, is that him?
Gomer Pyle.
Yeah.
Now you
it's-
said that, yeah,
Yes.
he looks exactly like him. I think a live action Kingpin, he's perfect, and that. But this Kingpin is just,
Huge.
I think, the closest you're ever going to get to. That's a comic book. That's the film. They're the same thing.
Yeah.
He's huge. When he hits people, he destroys buildings and stuff. It's ridiculous. It's beautiful, this film.
But yeah, the villains in this are all good.
And allegedly, for the sequel, we're gonna get. They said we're gonna try and do a classic Spider-Man, and everyone's thinking Venom,
Ooh,
a proper Venom.
proper Venom.
Not Venom the film, which did really well for no apparent reason. Oh, they're gonna. Do you know they're gonna make there are 2 sequels coming off the Venom film?
Oh god.
Which one would you like to hear? Would you like to hear the one which has got James Gunn's least favorite actor in it, or the other one?
Both.
Okay, so the one with James Gunn's least favorite actor,
Which is Jared Leto.
Jared Leto, is going to play. God, I can't remember the comic book character's name now. It's the Living Vampire. So he's a vampire. He's a vampiric character. Let me just get the name up of him. Jared Leto, vampire. Vampire film. Yeah, he is. So the one with Jared Leto is he's going to be in the it's going to be in the Morbius film, which is it's just a vampire in the Marvel universe. And again, trouble is with Morbius, really heavily connected to all the other superheroes, like Venom is. So it's going to be one of those ones where they can't mention anything, but here's Morbius, and they're also going to be doing Kraven the Hunter. Now, unless you know Spider-Man stuff, he's kind of semi-obscure. He is basically like a big huntsman, and he hunts big game and stuff, and his whole drive is to hunt Spider-Man because he's an animal and he's a man, the hardest, deadliest catch of them all.
Deadliest catch.
And there's ongoing feuds where sometimes they work together, sometimes Kraven is trying to kill him. There's been stories where he has killed him and he's come back, and it's been this kind of cool thing. But like I say, big intrinsic part of Spider-Man is Kraven. Kraven needs Spider-Man. And so the only logic is that Kraven is going to be in the sequel for Venom. I think that's been confirmed. And he's going to hunt Venom, which is kind of a cool twist.
Kind of.
But again, it's supposed to be Spider-Man. I don't think it's going to work very well, and I'm really worried. I feel like Kevin Feige in that interview where the head of Sony went, and maybe it'll be in the DCU, and then they cut the interview and they came back and she was like, it's definitely not going to be in the MCU. And Kevin Feige's like, why would you say that? People are recording this. So yeah, Spider-Verse, amazing film.
Spider-Verse, go
Loved
watch it.
Nick Cage, one of my favourite moments in this is just where he's got a Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's
It's
Cube.
really cute.
It's so good.
He's a very cute character. Love all the moments. The Aunt May done really well in this. We've not seen a good Aunt May since Spider-Man 2.
No,
And I liked how Mary Jane is not a big feature of this.
she's not at all.
No. Which is good to kind of move away from that because we're getting a lot of repeats of that.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really
Plus,
good.
isn't Gwen Stacy like way more of a character in the comics? I saw it like Mary Jane is his kind of secondary love interest when Gwen Stacy dies.
Yeah. Gwen Stacy was the original, and after she dies, there's a few like, oh, I'm sad, and then, hey, have you met your next door? No, I think she's Aunt May's some weird relation or like friend of a friend.
Yeah,
and
something like that.
she has like, you hit the jackpot, Tiger, which is a famous moment, but Gwen Stacy is the OG. And when they brought her back for Spider-Gwen in the comics, it was like, that's a really cool idea. The whole premise of her was, what if instead of Peter Parker getting bitten by the spider, it was Gwen? And then there's this whole parallel in the book of Peter Parker feeling useless and not being able to like help. He like help Spider-Man in that universe and want to be a hero because he has this innate need to be a hero. Becomes like the Lizard in the book, and it's a really cool dynamic where like she has to fight the guy she loves. It's really cool, and I'm glad they went with Gwen, Spider-Gwen, instead of just having a Gwen character, because Spider-Gwen's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, great film.
Spider-Verse, good. Go watch it.
It's amazing.
Anything else to say about the Oscars? Olivia Colman winning Best Actress.
I'm so glad. I love Olivia
for the
Colman.
favourite.
Yeah, I'm glad she
I
won
was
it.
watching some Mitchell and Webb sketches, and
Olivia
just to
Colman
see
just
Olivia
sees
Colman,
it.
you go, Olivia Colman, where have I heard that name recently? You've got an Oscar. I'm so proud of you. And you see her doing this really funny like
Olivia
bit.
Colman in my head is still like the background character who's in the Mitchell and Webb sketches and from the Peep Show and the police officer in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah,
that's who Olivia Colman is in my mind. And then to see her on stage with an Oscar was really surreal.
Being the most British I've ever seen anyone be ever.
It was very surreal, but I'm really glad she got it because she is a great actress.
She is, and she's got she can do anything. She can do funny, she can do semi-serious, she can do
she
everything.
had a long time of her career was all the funny stuff, but then she moved into the serious stuff. She did Broadchurch on the ITV, which was really good with David Tennant, and then The Favourite was just, and she's in The Crown as well. She's playing Queen Elizabeth.
I think that's the clips I've seen, and I've been getting them confused between because they're all period pieces. I just see one clip and go, oh, it's from the same thing. But yeah, she's great in that.
Yeah, I don't think that's out yet. You're getting confused.
No, is it the clip? Okay, the clip I'm thinking of, she like walking like into a door and there's someone like a chambermaid standing there and she just has just shouts at them. And
that's from The Favourite.
Is that from The Favourite?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great scene. I remember I saw that as a meme and someone said, how has she not got an Oscar for this?
And
then she did.
Yeah.
I want to find the guy who made that meme and just see what he said. Like,
I love seeing Emma Stone's reaction as well. When they read out Olivia Colman's name, Emma Stone started crying because obviously they've been on set together and worked together. So it obviously meant a lot for the whole cast and crew as a whole. So it's a really good moment.
That's a weird side connection. Emma Stone, the best bit about The Amazing Spider-Man's, I thought she was really good in that.
That's just because she's Emma Stone, isn't it?
No, I thought she was a really good Gwen. Just like good. I've always said she should play. It's the hair. She should always play a Gwen. People thought she was going to actually be Spider-Gwen. That's what they thought was going to be in the sequels. They thought they were going to just mash the two together, like she would get bitten. Because there was a rumor that there was going to be
get bitten by Jamie Foxx and become Electro Gwen.
Yeah. That is one of the powers of one of the Spider-Men.
Yeah.
Electric. But that was the rumor for Amazing Spider-Man 3. Yeah.
Okay.
That was the rumor for Spider-Man 3. They had said, we're going to put another spider in it. And people thought Venom, Carnage, because they wanted to be edgy, which is going to be in the Venom sequel, played by everyone's favourite crazy guy.
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. Yeah,
Is it really?
I think so.
No, it can't.
I
be
really
Woody
need to stop
Harrelson.
agreeing with you when you say things.
Everyone's favourite crazy guy. Who's everyone's
He's,
favourite crazy guy?
when I say his name, you go, oh yeah, he's got that look in his eyes where he plays crazy. Who's playing
Who are you talking about?
Carnage? No, it's not Woody Harrelson. Is
No,
it?
it's definitely not Woody Harrelson.
Well, you mean the main bad guy?
Yeah,
Carnage.
Carnage. He's the spin-off. No, it can't be. It can't be.
Woody Harrelson's Carnage.
Yes, Woody Harrelson.
Is it really?
It's Woody
Did I
Harrelson.
pull that out the
Yeah.
thin air
Yeah.
and not even know? I just picked a random name. Are you sure it's Woody Harrelson?
Every website I've just looked at said Woody Harrelson. That's scary, isn't it?
How did I just picked a random actor's
That's
name?
really good. Nailed it. Yeah, that was the rumor for Amazing Spider-Man 3, Carnage because we're edgy, or Spider-Gwen, or Miles Morales. And everyone thought Emma Stone, and then they went and killed her. Plot twist.
Plot twist. Anyway, that was anything else to say about the Oscars? I haven't got much else. I'm glad Black Klansman won
Glad Black
best
Klansman won something.
It won best adapted screenplay,
Yeah.
which I'm glad about.
I was, again, my thoughts on the Oscars. And when I saw that film, I was like, this is not supposed to be an Oscar film, but it's powerful, it's got a message, and it's just a great film.
Yeah.
Great actors, great everything. It needs to win something. It's won something. I'm glad it's up there.
Green Book won Best Picture and Best Screenplay. Green Book's about an African American pianist who gets driven around a tour of southern USA by this Italian American bouncer played by Viggo Mortensen. So it's kind of like a story about the racism in the South and then the friendship between this musician and his driver and how that progresses. It looks pretty good. I haven't seen it myself, but it won Best Picture, which was a massive shock because everyone thought it was going to be Roma or The Favourite. Roma did win Best Director. Alfonso Cuarón made Children of Men, which we all really like.
We did
And
an
he
episode on
also
that.
won Best Cinematography as well, which is fair enough because, as I said, Roma looks amazing and
just not a
technically is
good
amazing.
story.
It's just dull.
Okay. Do you do a bit more?
I don't know. Have we got anything else to say?
I don't know.
No, we might as well finish up. I don't know how long we've been going for, but it feels like we've been going for over an hour.
Bumper
start-
bonus episode.
We started it
We can just take up more time. You know what I mean? We don't have to cut it down. I know we've got an hour slot. We just chuck some of the songs. Just see if we've got anything else that I've written down. Oscars, Klansman, Rami Malek. Yeah, unless you want to talk about. We've already kind of discussed Black Klansman
yeah.
enough, I think. We've all gone through our points. Unless you want me to talk about why Lego Movie 2 is great but not as good as the first one, or why AI is the worst film I've ever watched.
I don't care.
AI.
Yeah, AI is a Steven Spielberg film from the early 2000s, about 2002, which is about...
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I was like, what?
Yeah, it's awful. It's stone cold awful. It's got these really dumb time jumps in it. It's basically a remake of Pinocchio, but done awfully. There are some really horrifying moments in it, but apart from that, it's just really dull. The message in it has been done hundreds of times, but better, like Pinocchio. And the bit at the end, I'm going to spoil it. I don't care if this goes in. I just want to tell someone how dumb this is. The ending is, who's the guy with a very feminine name who played the new Pope? Watson in Sherlock.
Martin Freeman.
No, the other one.
Jude Law.
Jude Law.
Jude Law.
Jude Law's character is
Jude Law?
Jude Law's character
Jude
is
Law?
a robot gigolo.
Jude Law.
Jude Law.
Jude Law.
Jude Law. Anyway,
Jude Law.
at the very end of the film,
Jude
Jude
Law.
Law has helped the guy from The Sixth Sense, the kid.
Macaulay Culkin.
He's helped Macaulay Culkin, who is a robot kid who can
It's not
feel love.
Macaulay
I'm just going with it now because I hate this film and I want everyone to know how much I hate it. They go to the end of this. They go to the end of New York, which has been flooded underwater. They go to the end of New York, where it's all been flooded underwater, and they try to look for this amusement park, which has got the blue fairy in it, which is a bit from Pinocchio, which turns him into a real boy. Apparently,
I'm a real boy.
yeah, it's just a statue. Gigolo Joe, which is the name of the character, is pulled by a giant magnet and sends Macaulay Culkin and his little police car that can swim and fly and stuff underwater, so they can see the blue fairy, and he's submerged under the water.
I have no idea what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
honestly, right, imagine this, right? It doesn't make any sense. And this is where it gets even weirder, right? He's sitting in this futuristic space police car like the one in Blade Runner, which is underwater now. And then there's a teddy bear next to him that's sentient, right? That's basically like his conscience, Jiminy Cricket. And then suddenly, underwater, the Ferris wheel falls down, collapses round them. And so the kid robot, Macaulay Culkin from Sixth Sense, is looking at the statue of this blue fairy and then freezes, like the whole thing freezes, because like 2,000 years later he's frozen in a block of ice. And then these future robots who look a bit like aliens come, rescue him, thaw him out, and he relives his dream of his mother, who he was adopted to because he's a robot, to replace their son, is recreated in a program where
Adam,
they can finally
stop
say goodnight
talking.
to each other. It's so bad. People need to know about this film.
None of this is going in.
Stop
Jesus,
It's so
sounding-
bad.
Jesus Christ, you were just car, teddy bear, Macaulay Culkin, water, fairy, dream, alien, robot, Jude Law. That's all I heard.
Yeah, that's all that happens. It's
I
so
completely
bad.
zoned out. I wasn't listening to any
It's
of that.
so bad. I had to watch it.
Okay,
I stayed up to watch it.
okay.
Don't know what I've seen.
It's okay, Adam. Adam, it's okay.
So that was the Bargain Bin podcast for this week. I've been Nick.
I've been Adam.
And I've been Jack.
Hope you enjoyed the bumper episode and our discussion about the Oscars. If you've got any thoughts or feelings, why not hit us up on our email, which is the Bargain Bin podcast or thebargainbin@gmail.com, with anything you want to say about the show.
Hit up Brayford Radio, at Brayford Radio on Twitter, and at Brayford Radio Station on Instagram.
Follow me on Twitter, because the other two don't have a Twitter, at PhantomGC. And if you want to hear the uncut version of this podcast, why not listen to it on YouTube, which is the Bargain Bin on YouTube.
Bargain
You'll find
Bin
it.
podcast, you'll find it, or Adam, Jack, and Nick's Films is the channel name.
Yep, you'll find it on there. We've got the radio version, which you're probably listening to now if you're listening to on the radio, and you can see the uncut version, which is
A lot of swearing.
a lot of
and dead air.
swearing, dead air, and it's about 4 hours long because this episode's just gone on for a bit.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, guys. See you next week. Say bye, Jack.
Bye.
Get the door for me.
Captain Cripple.
Shut up. It's your fault.
Also, why don't we change, instead of like Adam, Jack, and Nick Films, why don't we just do like A and J or something like that? Just shorten up.
Fuck off. When we
Yeah, cool. Or I could do that. Yeah, that works. That works.
A and J.
No, shit.
Rubbish.